Welcome to Metaphysics, my perspective. This is going to be a past life reading for Cancer. Cancer, how y'all doing? So, many people don't believe in past lives, and that's fine. If you don't, then you can click off. But basically, these lives can also be referred to as simultaneous lives, which means it's going on in parallel dimensions, or basically all time is basically happening at once. So depending on how you see time and a perspective, it may or may not resonate. But anyway, so this reading is going to be for Sun, Moon, and Rising, as well as South Node, because the South Node in your astrological chart deals with past lives. That's usually the karma that you pay back. Alright, so April 22, Cancer, past life reading. Alright, what does Cancer need to know for April 22, past lives? What are the past life messages for Cancer? I got two of them coming out here, see. Put this one back in because they come out at the same time. What does Cancer need to know for past life reading? April 2022. What does Cancer need to know for April 22, past life messages? What does Cancer need to know for April 22, 2022, my bad. What does Cancer need to know? Past life messages for Cancer, April 2022. Unrequited love. What are the past life messages for Cancer, April 2022? What are the past life messages for Cancer, April 2022? That one wanted to come out, so I'm going to put that down. What are the past life messages for Cancer, April 2022? Ships. Now, I'll hold these cards up if you can't see them. But just know that I'm telling you right if you still can't see them after that. I'm working with this camera, but eventually I'll purchase a different camera and I'll be able to, do more. I want to be able to actually present myself as well as the cards. So it's kind of hard to get both of those in there without being all up in my face. What does Cancer need to know for past life? April 2022. What are the past life messages for Cancer? April 2022. What are the past life messages for Cancer? April 2022. Got jumpers. Alright, so Native Americans. So right off, as I'm tapping into your energy, Cancer. Sorry about that noise outside. I had to open this window because the sage can be overwhelming at times. So right off, what I'm getting is, Cancer, is that you for some of you Cancers, you have a child or a baby in your life that is near and dear to you, or you've adopted, you've lost one or something, but there's some type of connection there that makes you feel just, it's surreal. It's more than just, like a normal connection that a mother would feel with their child. And so what that's saying is basically that your baby, or for the ones that are watching that actually have a Cancer mother, it's basically saying that you or your mother was your baby in another lifetime. So, and when it comes to past lives, we play different roles, many different roles. So there could be, the roles reverse so many, times, and a lot of people cannot wrap their head around past lives because they see it from the egoic level. They think, or their religious beliefs, or their, whatever programming keeps them from actually being able to see multiple sides of things. I've only met actually one person that I know of that just couldn't wrap their head around past lives, but basic Cancer, with you being intuitive, you should be able to, wrap your head around this pretty well. So And you know, when you think about it, when it comes to past lives, do you really think that we've got one life to get it right? Makes no sense. So just think on that. And you know, also, I'd like to hear your comments and uh, whatever else, what you get from this card when you know when you think, when you see this, you know, this baby. Does this resonate with you? Do you feel more connected to this child than, you know, the rest of your children? It could be, you know, for some of you just have one child, but some of you might have a family and it's just this one baby, this new baby that's being born, that you can feel real connected to. But you also have this unrequited love card, which can be, when that comes up in a past life reading, that's saying that's a lesson for you to learn from a past life. So that's basically saying either you did that in a past life, and it could be with this baby situation or the mother or however you want to look at it, where one of you did not love each other the same way, or you actually might feel this with your child. Maybe you feel like that you cannot love this child. You know, as bad as that sounds, especially with Cancer being the mother of the zodiac, it's not uncommon for that to happen. So it's something to think about. But the unrequited love thing is basically it teaches you self-love. So if you are, you know, Cancer, for the Cancers that are watching that resonate with this reading, if you're the ones that do not love your child, or you feel like you know, maybe you gave your baby up for adoption, something like that, and you just can't love your child, don't really hold it against yourself, because that could be actual lessons for the actual child to learn to love themselves. Now, unrequited love is something that I've dealt with in previous times, you know, and also in this lifetime. So what it does is people, in a sense, will not love you the same way. And if you're a Cancer child, like a child, or say you're an adult now and you were a child, and you resonate with the unrequited love card, it could just be that nobody loved you. It could be, you know, you might feel like that you're just unloved, and that's what that's supposed to teach you. That is a lesson to teach you to learn to love yourself. So either way, whichever way it goes and whichever way it resonates, you know, it's not something that you should really have guilt about or judge yourself. You know, it's all for the experience. We come here to learn these lessons for growth, for soul growth, and you know, it can be seen as just awful and terrible, but it's how you perceive it, you know. And you may not resonate with what I'm saying right now. You might think that, you know, it's just wacky in a way to believe that, but there's truth behind that. And you know, it could be that, you know, you felt this from any type of parent, you know, when you were a child, but you know, for the ones that just feel like they cannot connect with their child, there's a reason for that. And it could be, you know, that child could have you know, been something to you in another life. It could have been a dad that was unloving. Could have been a grandfather. Could have been, you know, you could have been a child in the previous lifetime, and the mother didn't love you. So it just kind of changes roles. All right, so you got the vow card. So vows mean, basically, when you take this card, it means that you've taken certain vows in a different lifetime. And you know, it's not unlike, you know, marriage vows. But vows, as far as like vows of poverty, or vows of you know, chastity, or you know, it could be you could be a nun, for example. Like some, you know, some of you could be nuns. I doubt, you know, I've got nuns watching the channel, but you never know. You know, stranger things have happened. But you know, like a nun in a past life that maybe had a child and wasn't supposed to. You know, and the child was given up, and so therefore, maybe in this lifetime, the child reincarnates as, you know, and you reincarnate as the child in that situation, and they can't love you because these vows that they've taken on the soul level are still intact. Now, if that's true, you need to see some type of practitioner or something to get rid of vows, because they can really, you know, cause a lot of problems, especially if you've taken it on the soul level. And when you think about vows and contracts and everything, just look at how binding a marriage contract is. Like for you that have been married, or actually have read that or understand the contracts that you sign in your lifetime, think of those contracts just like spiritual contracts. They're the same way. So if you agree to something, or you sign something on a soul level, you know, on a level that you're not even conscious of, for lessons of spiritual growth, and you walk around and for some reason you can't understand, like, you know, for example, a vow of unrequited love, like you come in this life, for example, to be an unloved person, only to find self-love. So say you attract, you know, an example would be, say that you attract many, many narcissists that just don't love you, or your parent is a narcissist, and that's just a reflection of what you need in yourself, so they can't give you something that you don't give yourself. So you have to learn to love yourself for you to attract and have a different, outcome in the next lifetime. Sorry about that, somebody's talking. So think of it like that. Vows of poverty, vows of chastity, can be let's see, there's so many different vows you can take, just think about it, but you need a qualified practitioner in order to get rid of those. And on some level, it just depends which level you've taken it on. If it's just like, you see you see how hard it is in a way to get a divorce. Because if you make a vow with another soul, and then say that the one guy doesn't want to give you a divorce, or the woman doesn't want to give you a divorce, and then it's legally and binding, and you can't get out of that until you both agree, and then you have the money for it, it goes to show you the power in your signature and the power in your agreements. So take heed and think about that lesson. And then the other thing I get, is, ships. So some of you may love the ocean. Some of you may be scared to death of the ocean. But some of you might be in families that are fishermen. It just depends. It can, resonate so many different levels. But basically, it's just saying that you've spent much time on the sea, and ships are something. You could be shipbuilders. You could be some of the families that was on the Titanic and sank, and then came back, and you are, for whatever reason, you've seen the problems with that, and now you make better ships for people. It can work in so many different ways. So, but if you find yourself loving that, a lot of times when I pull cards like this in personal readings, I'll get various images and visions of that particular person, because it's one energy. So like, for example, when I'm doing this and I'm reading for the collective of Cancer, there's a lot of potential possibilities, and so it cannot always be something that's easily honed in on. So, for some of you I get pirates, some of the visions I'm getting is pirates, some of you I get just fishermen, Nova Scotia, visions of Vikings I'm getting. Let's see what else here. Some of you I'm even getting, like, some of you are the ones that helped discover America. At least one of those times. It's just I'm being shown that, but it's not showing me which time frame. 15th century, 1500s, not 15th century, 1500s, and also 1200s. The year 1250. I'm getting, so if any of that resonates with you, that number, if you see that number, one of the ship's names was Belvedere. The Belvedere, and I see it with almost like a grand chariot staircase in a way, like with red, like kind of it kind of goes in like this, and then it had like a beautiful red color. But it wasn't cherry, but it similar to that color, like similar also to mahogany, just those colors of the ship. And then I'm seeing flags, like a white and black flag. So, if that resonates with you. But again, I'll look at the book to tell you the messages behind it. But when it comes to the ships, if you are someone that is scared of water, definitely, or you have visions of drowning, or you fear drowning, or more often than not, it's going to be something like it's going to be a phobia attached to these past lives. And when I actually pull the book out and actually go further and deeper into it, it will make a whole lot of sense. But with the Native American tribe, I'm getting Shawnee, Blackfoot, Cherokee, and some of you that are watching, like, were involved, like in the French and Indian War. I think that's what it was called. Some of that stuff I don't know. It's just like I'm getting visuals of it, and then I'm seeing like signs. So it may not be. It may some of it may be off. And also battle with like the cavalry, like actual cavalry members, like whatever time that was. Um, but if you find yourself, excuse me, if you find yourself like fascinated with this, I'm seeing some of you as kids also kind of like run around pretend to be Indians and cowboys. So some of your dads have watched westerns and you love that. That was one of those things that you like to spend time. Some of you with your grandfather like that. Some of you like holsters, guns and holsters, things like that you like to play with as kids. Bow and arrow. Some of you are actually, because of this lifetime, some of you are very good archers. I'm getting at too, like world champion archers, depending on which one's actually tuning in. And actually, but I'm getting that for some type of Cancer energy. So if you might know that, you might actually be into archery, and you might actually know a world champion archer, or follow a world champion archer that's actually a Cancer that was, I feel like it was taught by their grandfather or dad. So, let's see. Alright, sorry about that, Cancer. I had people decided to go outside and start talking loud while I was doing your reading. So, anyway, so with the Native Americans, so yeah, archers. So anyone that you felt like that, anyone that you follow that's like, and I'm also getting more like a family-oriented, like archery, like the clan, the whole family, like is into it. But it's because that you're into it is because one or more of you, probably, I would say probably you were a tribe, or a small tribe of Native Americans that actually, kind of loved that, lived off the land. And some of you could actually be doing like, do reenactments or something like that as a family. So, take what resonates. Don't try to make it all fit, because of course it's not going to. But also with the unrequited love I'm getting to is, this is as a family oriented thing. This is where you actually receive the love. Like in the family unit or tribe or whatever you want to call it, there's not a whole lot of like give and take. But when it comes to this archer stuff, or the Native American or the ships, whatever resonates. It's what brings you together. It makes you feel more loved, like with them. And it's also, for some of you, because of this, you became, a better fisherman, or you actually became a better archer because of the lack of acceptance. So that, it's kind of like that would be a lesson. It's like, you didn't get this, so you did everything in the world to seek their approval, seek other people's approval, to get that love. So, like I said, it's not going to resonate for everyone, but for the ones it does, then, that's the ones that are meant to see the reading. But think about those vows, too, because when you take those vows of poverty and any type of vow that you take, especially if you took it in a previous lifetime and you feel like it's still affecting you, you might be a world champion archer and you're just not getting paid a lot, like you still live in poverty, or you're trying to become all that, or you could be on a ship and you're not making very much money at fishing, and it could be because this vow is blocking all that. So it's just something to think about. So this is on the baby card, by the way. The situation you're inquiring about involves an infant on some level. Your unconscious mind will reveal the way in which the baby plays a role in your current life. You may have already received the answer in the form of a thought or feeling. So pay attention to your feelings and thoughts as you're watching this reading. And then please comment about it. Like, the more it resonates, I want to know this. I want to know, like, who out there that is actually watching, that is actually watching long enough, if you watch long enough, because a lot of you won't. It's like 2 or 3 seconds or whatever. But so trust the information, as your unconscious mind will slowly and gently help you remember and release painful memories at first. You may think you're imagining this information, but as you put it in together, more pieces of the puzzle through signs and additional recollections, you feel confident in claiming your past lifetime. The card can speak about you as a baby in a previous lifetime. There may have been a trauma that you suffered as a baby, or that and it could have been in this life that you suffered the trauma or caused the trauma. Sometimes it's not exactly a past life, but it can be like, your lifetime, past in that lifetime. So it could involve the baby of yours, or you could have been the baby, of course. And then this lifetime, it also may describe parenthood in this or previous lifetimes. Your feelings and thoughts will guide you to more of a discernment and a specific meaning. So, unrequited love. And for some of you, I know that unrequited love it hurts, but just know there's a reason for it. And hopefully this reading, for the ones that watch it, or whatever that it connects to or sees it, hopefully you really get something out of it. Alright, this card indicates that you may have painful experience with unrequited love in a prior lifetime. This person you love deeply didn't share your feelings, or you may have been betrayed or abandoned. This individual may be in your present life. These experiences of unrequited love may be negatively affecting you now. For example, you might distrust your lover's intentions or his or her ability to make a monogamous commitment. Sometimes those doubts have a basis in a current reality. If you are one of those people that just has trust issues and you don't know where they come from, that's where it came from. It came from another life, and it could be that individual. And you could be playing all that out again. However, romantic insecurities can also be a product of prior lifetimes. When that occurs, the unconscious insecurities are difficult to pinpoint or heal unless they're consciously realized. And this is also where, past life regression would be a good thing to get into. This is where irrational jealousy and neediness may actually ruin a otherwise good relationship. So be careful about that, and actually take accountability if this is you, because the more you understand it, especially if you do like I said, like a past life regression or something like that, where you can be helped. And then you can do a regression for couples. That way, you can both figure out what it is, and then if you understand that lifetime, you'll be able to get over the hump in this lifetime. And it says both can remember until both of you can remember the situation that caused pain in your lives. Otherwise, the pain will still exist, and then there won't be any trust. And this could basically be all that it is that's causing the problem. All right, so the vows is, you drew this card because the vows that you took in a prior lifetime are blocking you in this one. Most likely you were a monk or a nun when you made these vows, which still continue to haunt you. Common examples may include a vow of poverty or self-denial, which can block your flow of abundance, a vow of chastity, which can inhibit your romance or sexual life in this present, or a vow of self-punishment, which can lead you to sabotage or hurt yourself. Unless vows are severed, they can affect you across time. Fortunately, vows are very easy to undo. It's simply a matter of firmly stating, I am willing to sever all vows that are blocking me in this lifetime. Now, if you have to pause that and actually listen to that or write that down, I recommend that you write that, go into meditation, and write that down as many times as you need to. Like you can burn it on a full moon, write on a piece of paper and burn it on a full moon, but you need to get rid of those vows because they can really cause a lot of problems. And then you'd say, I ask that all aspects of painful vows be now and forever undone in all directions of time for everyone concerned. By saying this either out loud or silently, you help to heal the bondage of the past and open yourself up to the present day joy and abundance in all forms. And then ships. And really think about that unrequited love too, because like, a lot of you will have some type of, grudge or something like that against that person. And you got to realize that you just might be paying for your own karma from another lifetime. Basically karma is not really a punishment. It's more of a, even though I just said you'd be paying for it, I mean paying the debt of karma. But what a lot of times what it is just so that you can understand what that person had to go through, And then, to understand why you had to do that to someone else and actually, or understand why they had to do it to you so that you can understand the lesson behind it for both parties. $85. Your prior is on the ship's card. Your prior lifetime spent on these ships bring this card to you today as a former sailor, cast member, or ship passenger. And also got a vision of you. Some of you actually joined the Navy in this lifetime, or your dad was like a Navy admiral, captain, something like that. It says you had to express you had to experience issues at sea that have basically exerted the influence on the situation you're inquiring about. You probably already had a sense of the type of life you had around these ships. The question now becomes how your experiences have affected your present life. Negative reactions such as fears and phobias, which is basically what I was telling you, or reactions such as longings to travel or a spiritual affinity for the ocean still may have arisen in these prior lifetimes. So that's basically what drew you to it. And then the Native American card. $71. This card signifies that you had an important past life as a Native American, which is connected to your current journey. In this lifetime, you have been drawn to Native American artifacts, cultures, and spirituality. This is because they're familiar with your soul. Studying Native American, some of you actually mother might actually be a Native American professor, or like or you might be, like I'm getting that too, like as a professor, like someone that teaches Native American studies. And American teachings can help you awaken ancient memories and knowledge that you've already had stored within you. This card can also signify indigenous cultures from other countries as well. So perhaps you had some hidden anger or pain because of a battle or loss during your time as an indigenous person. Some of you might actually be activists too. As with other past life traumas, a session with a qualified regressionist can help you heal the old energy. In this way, you can retain the lessons and learn from that lifetime and release painful blocks. So think about that. And like I said, for whatever resonates, just comment and let me know. I appreciate likes, shares, donations, whatever. Definitely comments, because I want to connect with each, as many people as I can, especially for the ones I'm reading for. I'm not just doing it for my, for a hobby. I'm wanting to actually help people in this situation, especially people that are dealing with this. Because if you understand if you understand how your past affects your present life, then a lot of things can be resolved in the family, in your family, and in your lifetime. especially in this lifetime, there's a need for, well, not so much as a need, but there's an opportunity with these readings and some of the other stuff that I do for you to experience tremendous soul growth in your lifetime. So think about that and, question, where you come from, your existence, look into it. And it's pretty much all I have for you, Cancer. Thanks for watching, and I will see you later in the month for another reading.